What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the Museum Reviews channel. Today, we will be taking a look at the top 20 paintings from the featured exhibit, Impressionism Across the Atlantic, currently on display at the San Diego Museum of Art. The exhibit includes a wide range of works from famous European and North American Impressionist artists. If you enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on to the video. Honorable mention, Étretat was painted by French painter Eugène Boudin in 1890. The painting depicts a scene off the coast of Normandy, which was known for its dramatic chalk cliffs and rock formations. A group of sailboats can be seen on the beach, and others are out in the distant water. Boudin was one of the earliest French artists to consistently paint outdoors, and often focused on the changing light and weather conditions of the Normandy beaches. Number 20. The Seine Valley at Mézy was painted by French painter Berthe Morisot in 1891. The painting, created during a period when Morisot had retreated from Paris to the countryside, depicts a scene along the Seine River following the death of her husband Eugène Monet. Morisot found solace in nature, and her work became more introspective and atmospheric. Here, Morisot used energetic and loose brushwork and a palette of pale greens and blues to create the landscape. Number 19. The Masked Ball at the Élysée Montmartre was painted by Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec in 1887. The Élysée Montmartre, the first of the café's concerts, opened its doors on the Boulevard de Clichy in 1840 and initially attracted low-class patrons from nearby slaughterhouses. By 1886, it grew in reputation and became a fashionable meeting place. Toulouse-Lautrec depicts a masquerader in an acrobat's leotard at the annual ball of the Société des Incohérences, which was first held in 1887. Number 18. Route de Versailles was painted by French and British painter Alfred Sisley in 1876. The painting captures a quiet moment along a rural road between the towns of Louveciennes and Marly-le-Roi, where Sisley frequently painted. Small figures can be seen walking along the path, which is flanked by trees and modest buildings. Unlike other artists, Sisley typically painted in cloudy weather, since he was fascinated by the shifting tonal variations seen in grey skies as seen here. Number 17. Woman with a Rose was painted by American painter Winslow Homer in 1879. The portrait depicts a German-born woman named Coscia, who worked as a waitress in New York and posed for artists during the winter months. Coscia appeared in 3 of Homer's works from the late 1870s. In this piece, Homer gives great volume to the contemplative female figure by alternating translucent washes and leaving areas of white paper visible as highlights. Number 16. Haystacks at Chailly was painted by French painter Claude Monet, 1865. This modestly scaled landscape depicts an early morning view of a field of haystacks in suburban Paris. Monet's love for painting nature came from spending countless hours painting outdoors with his first teacher, Eugène Boudin. Many of the characteristics of the Impressionist style are seen in this painting, including the use of an array of colors and the experimentation of light in a natural setting. Number 15. The Ballerina was painted by French painter Edgar Degas in 1876. Degas, a central figure in the Impressionist movement, was most famous for exploring themes of modern life. The most prominent of these was his works highlighting the practice of ballet dancers. This particular work, depicting a ballerina endpoint, showcases Degasse's signature style of capturing movement and emotion. Number 14. House in the Trees, Auvers, was painted by French painter Paul Cezanne in 1879. Cezanne painted this piece in Auvers-sur-Oise, where he worked under the mentorship of Camille Pissarro and became deeply influenced by his approach to light and nature. The composition depicts a modest house nestled among tall trees. The vertical lines of the trees emphasize the structure and height of the cottage and lend it a monumental feel despite its rural simplicity. Number 13. Simone in a Bluebonnet, was painted by American painter Merritt Chase in 1903. This portrait is part of a series of little girls posted alone against undefined backgrounds, which Cassatt began to work on in 1901. The girl in this portrait, named Simone, lived near Cassatt and is depicted wearing a blue bonnet and a pink dress as she peers out from the painting amidst a flurry of brushstrokes, which was typical of Cassatt's style. Number 12. Elizabeth with a Dog, was painted by American painter Thomas Eakins in 1871. The painting depicts Elizabeth King Krull, who lived next door to Eakins and posed for him twice during the 1870s. Elizabeth plays with a small dog in the intimate Victorian setting of Eakins's living room with a high-backed chair behind her. The careful attention to anatomical accuracy was a product of Eakins's extensive training in Paris. Number 11. Village Near a Field, was painted by Mexican painter Diego Rivera in 1919. From the age of 10, Rivera studied art at the Academy of San Carlos in Mexico City. When he turned 21, he then traveled to Europe, where he was influenced by the Impressionist-style landscapes, as seen in this painting. Rivera uses loose brushstrokes, soft light, and natural color harmonies to depict a small village encapsulated with bushes and vibrantly colored trees. Number 10. Line Trodder, Fisherman and Oxen Landing a Boat on the Valencia Shoreline, was painted by American painter Arthur Grover Ryder between 1920 and 1930. The painting depicts a fisherman on his boat guiding an ox as they land on the shoreline of Valencia. During his trips to Valencia, Ryder painted scenes of fisherfolk, sunlit coasts, and working animals. The luminous sun-washed sails and vivid sea blue horizon mimics the artistic style of Joaquin Sorolla, who Ryder admired. Number 9. Stonebridge, Old Lyme, Connecticut, was painted by American painter Childe Hassam in 1905. The painting depicts a brook and an old stone bridge located on the property of the Griswold family, who often invited artists to visit their home. Hassam was particularly interested in this location as he painted it on several different occasions. When Hassam traveled to Europe in 1886, he immersed himself in the study of Impressionism and eventually brought it to America. Number 8. Woman Reading, was painted by American painter Eastman Johnson in 1874. The painting depicts a woman in an open field reading a note in her hands. Eastman Johnson was a member of a distinguished generation of painters who responded with their art to the national upheaval over slavery, which ultimately led to the beginning of the Civil War. Some believe that the woman in this painting may possibly be reading a letter from a loved one who was lost in the brutal war. Number 7. June Morning at Pomois, was painted by French painter Camille Pissarro in 1874. This piece was painted by Pissarro during his decade-long stay in Pontoise, which was a favorite locale for his landscape work. Pissarro depicts a sunlit rural scene featuring a road in a field lined with trees under a bright blue sky. Small figures and horses can also be seen scattered throughout various parts of the landscape. Number 6. John Alfred Parsons Millet was painted by American painter John Singer Sargent in 1892. The portrait depicts a young boy who was also the godson of Sargent and the son of Sargent's friend Frank Millet. Millet, a painter himself, named his son after both Sargent and Alfred Parsons, who were close family friends who he admired. This painting, using brilliant lighting and shadows, was specifically given by Sargent as a gift to the Millet family. Number 5. Portrait of Dona Esther de Garay y Garay was painted by Spanish painter Ignacio Zuluaga y Zabaleta in 1938. This striking full-length portrait depicts the daughter of Uruguayan entrepreneur Hermini Rodriguez Lambanda and Maria Bauza, who was a prominent art collector in Spain. When Esther married Fernando de Garay y Garay, this portrait belonged to her and her family before it was eventually passed on to various art collectors. Number 4. The Three Errázuriz Sisters was painted by Spanish painter Joaquín Sorolla y Bastida in 1897. This large-scale portrait depicts the three daughters of Moches Errázuriz, a wealthy Chilean diplomat who was a prominent patron and friend of Sorolla. The three daughters are dressed in matching attire, emphasizing their harmony as sisters. The painting is noted as one of Sorolla's most elegant society portraits, as it merges naturalism and impressionistic brilliance together. Number 3. Falls in the Winter was painted by Canadian-American painter Ernest Lawson in 1920. The painting captures a snowy waterfall within a quiet winter landscape, showcasing Lawson's fascination with seasonal scenes. Blues, greys, and soft whites dominate the canvas to create shadows and light glinting off the frozen surfaces. Lawson was best known for his winter landscapes, which typically depicted the Hudson or Harlem regions in New England and Canada. Number 2. The Church at Varengeville, Morning, was painted by French painter Claude Monet, 1882. During his trip to the Normandy coast in 1882, Monet focused on painting the rugged cliffs and the coastline near Dieppe. This piece specifically depicts the church of Église Sainte-Valerie, dramatically perched on a cliff and situated above the sea. Monet captured this exact location at different times of day and in changing light in a broader series of work. Number 1. An Afternoon Stroll was painted by American painter William Merritt Chase between 1890 and 1895. This large-scale painting depicts a woman garbed in a white dress with coral accents, complementing her natural surroundings. The soft yellows and greens that dominate the picture were typical of the artist's renderings of Chinook, Long Island. Much of Chase's works were inspired by his wife, daughters, and other women visitors to his studio in Long Island. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a future episode. Stay tuned as more exciting videos are coming your way very soon. See you in the next one.